So in this tutorial, we're going to learn about data and data types. So I'm going to create in a new Python program, and I'm going to call this data.py. So I have in here. Now you saw me do something like name is equal to, and I have Kenneth over here. Now there was also an instance I did age is equal to 25. So for first timers, I think the obvious question was, okay, why am I putting the name in some kind of quotation mark? And as far as the numbers are concerned or the age is concerned, there's no quotation mark. Well, that was a very good question. Or if you had that guess, it was a very good one, because there are different data types and you are going to see some of them very soon. So what we've been doing is to, for instance, print out name. And if we should print out name over here, we are going to see name being printed. Another thing I would also want to do is to print the data type of name. So we are going to print the type. So as you can see over here, I'm printing, let me type in here name. So as you can see over here, I'm printing something which eventually is going to be something along name, but then I want to print the data type of name. So if I should save this, and once again, let me clear this up so that we see it's very big over here. Let me open this up. Now, if I should run this program, we are going to see some interesting thing over here. Yes, we are going to see name, because on line 5, we are printing name, which is Kenneth. And on line 6, we are printing the data type of name. So as you can see, this is class str. Now, what class str simply means that this name is a string. So str, as you have over here, is representing a string. So now what is a string? A string is a collection of characters, okay? And as far as these characters are concerned, it can be letters, it can be numbers, it can be characters, it can be special characters like dots and things of that sort. But the most important thing is they have to be in a quotation mark. Now the quotation mark can be single, as you see it over here, and it can be, let me say, last name. It can also be in a double quotation mark, you see over here. So for instance, name is just for a single quotation mark, and last name, as you see over here, is double quotation mark. Either ways, both of them are strings. And in order to check or be sure, we can print out last name and the data type of last name as well. So when I save this, first of all, let me clear this so that we see that it is only last name that is being printed out over here. So we can see that the last name is indeed Bruni, as we have it over here. And it is of a class str, which is a string. And like I said, a collection of characters. But the most important thing is it should be in a quotation mark. Now let me also put out another example. And like I did the first time, I have age. And over here too, I have 25 over here. Now, as you can see clearly, there's a difference between what I have on line 3 and what I have here on line 4. Now, first of all, the variable names are different, because as far as Python is concerned, the variable names are case sensitive. So age over here is different from this age over there, because this is small letter a and this is capital letter A. Now, the second thing, or the second difference over here, has to do with the data type. Now, let's look at the data type for this capital letter age. So I'm going to print out the age over here, and I'm also going to print out the age over here. So this capital letter age, and when I print this out, we see 25, and it is of a class str. So it also means that this is also a string. Now, the key takeaway here is, as far as strings are concerned, it must be in a quotation mark. Once it is in a quotation mark, being single or double, then it is a string. There are instances where you need a double quotation mark, and there are instances where you need a single quotation mark. We'll go further into that when we will deal with strings into details. But now, let's bear in mind that anytime you have something in a quotation mark, it is a string, irrespective of how it looks. Because, for instance, this looks like 25. I mean, it is 25, but then once it is in a quotation mark, it is a string. Now let's look at for the data type for small letter age. And let me do small letter age over here. And once again, let me clear this up. And if I should save this and come and run this over here, we are getting 25, which is indeed the data we are storing in here. And it is of a class int. So we are getting a new data type over here. And this is an int. So int is basically an integer, and integers are positive and negative whole numbers. So any whole number, either being positive or negative, it is going to be an int. So this is 25. If I should do negative 25, of course there's nobody going to have an age of negative 25, but then for demonstration purposes, if I'm to run this, we are going to see negative 25, and it is going to be of a class of int. And as far as integers are concerned, it also includes 0. So 0 is also an int. If I'm to run this again, we are going to see 0, and this is an int. So that's very important as far as the int data type is concerned. The int data type is positive and negative whole numbers, which includes 0. Now there's another data type. Let's look at a typical example of, let's say, height. So maybe my height is 5.6. And as far as this data type is concerned, let's see how it is called in Python. So let me quickly print out the height over here and the data type of height. Now I'll save this, and when I run this, I'm going to see 5.6 as the data type, and it is of a class float or data type float. So clearly we can see that there is a data type of float or floating point value. Now what floating point values are? They are decimal values. So anytime you see 5 point something, let's say 10.2, 10.0, 5.3, these are all decimal fractions, so they are considered floats as far as Python is concerned. Then last but not the least, there's what we call the Boolean data type. So as far as the Boolean data type is concerned, a typical example is, let's say, I'm going to say it's registered. And remember, this is going to be a valid name, okay, as far as our naming conventions is concerned, okay, and it's valid, it's registered. I'm going to say true. So what then is a Boolean data type? A Boolean data type is a data type that can exist in only two forms, okay? So as far as being registered is concerned, it's either you are registered or you are not. So it's either true or false, okay? And remember, this true is a capital T. Remember, Python is case sensitive. So this true, if we are to do a small letter t, we are not going to see this. But then if we are to do a capital T, it is going to be colored in blue. And as you can see, this is a reserved keyword. So that's why we don't use the keyword. It is going to help us in our construct as far as the Python programming language is concerned. So now it is registered and we are saying true. So now let's look at the data type for is registered. And we are going to print it out over here. And once again, let me clear this so that we see only that. So I'll save this, and when I run this program, I'm going to say that its registered value is true and it is of a data type bool. So the bool is representing the Boolean data type. And as you can see over here, the Boolean data type is only representing some kind of a binary situation. Okay, so it's either you are male or a female, it's either you are registered or you are not registered, it's either you are a citizen or you are not a citizen. There's no in between as far as some of these things are concerned. So this is where you need a Boolean data type. So in summary, first off, we have a string. A string is a collection of characters, but the most important thing as far as strings are concerned is that it must be in a quotation mark, whether being a single or double quotation mark. Now we also have integers or ints, and an int is a positive or negative whole number as far as integers are concerned. Now you also have a float. A float is a decimal or fractional value. As you can see over here, 5.6 is a float. And we have the Boolean data type. The Boolean data type is a data type that can exist in only two forms. So it's either you are high or low, you are on or off, you are a citizen or not, you are a student or you are not a student. So in these cases, we are going to use true or false to represent a Boolean data type.